In today's video, we're going to be going over 8 tips that Andre Grasse gave in an interview that he did with CBC, walking through the 100-meter, everything that he does within the 100-meter to make it so he's able to perform at the highest level. The reason I wanted to make this video is to expand on the concepts that he was talking about. I think all 8 of the tips are great, but he just didn't give a lot of context to make it so you'd understand exactly what he was meaning by each one of those steps. So by the end of this video, you should have a clear understanding of each one of those 8 steps, as well as how they will apply to your running, not only 100-meter, but just your sprinting in general. Go ahead and hop right into the video.
Just picture myself through all my phases, whether it's the drive phase, the acceleration, getting my knees up as I get into my upright position.
So he talked about 2 really important things there. First one being visualization, really understanding what it is that you're going to be accomplishing through the race and just being able to see it in your mind's eye before going through. I think it's really important to understand before you're going to go run, you have to have complete belief in yourself and what it is you're going to accomplish. It's really what he's talking about there is visualize yourself succeeding, winning, performing at your highest. The second thing is the knee drive, kind of drive phase. I think that is really going in depth into something in particular for him and what he is trying to best understand. So he really wants to be able to take that last little moment before running to connect with what is it that he needs to do great at in order for him to run the race. A lot of times when you're going into running or performing or doing any type of particular even rep when you're practicing, there are certain things that you know you need to be working on and improving and being aware of. It's kind of reviewing the notes. If you've ever gone to like a test or a quiz, you want to make sure that you are prepared for the test. So you review a certain part of the study guide or of a book or something just to make it so you can succeed in that part of the test. That's what he's doing here before he's going into the race.
That's all the things I'm thinking about. I hear the bang. I'm just thinking push, 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 push.
So that's going to be number 3. First one, again, being visualization. Second thing being right before you're about to race or run, just reviewing what it is that you want to be able to succeed the most at. Number 3, once you hear the bang, I mean, reacting well is obviously important, but we understand what that is. That's not something that you need to get more information on. But being able to push. And what the push really is as the foot's going off the ground, getting a great reaction, a great pushing movement through the foot to make it so then you're getting outwards. During the start, the push is what's most important. It's not exerting yourself harder. It's what you're doing with your feet to make it so you're pushing outwards or getting more depth. We should be having some visualizations for you to be able to see this, but understanding the push is so important for you to be able to properly accelerate, properly get to your top speed.
I get my feet down as quickly as possible. It's all about just attacking.
So that is sprinting tip number 4, is getting your feet down as quickly as possible and really focusing on attacking the ground. So that is having to do with the front side mechanics and really what you're doing with the feet, how that's going to play a part in being able to run fast. But another important thing is going to be that attacking of the ground. So as soon as you get that foot up, now you want to be able to attack with that foot, not necessarily out in front of you, but really underneath you. But you just don't want to get stuck with that foot up in the air, knee up in the air. You got to be attacking the ground and creating a lot of force in the ground to be able to continue to accelerate and get through that drive phase. So that's what he's talking about there in number 4, is getting the feet down quickly by attacking the ground, using the feet, using the ankles to strike the ground with a lot of force. Now, number 5.
Be relaxed as possible, but still be aggressive and just trying to get my feet down as quickly as possible. Now, as I'm coming up, you can usually kind of feel the person, you know, whether they're kind of near you or they're away from you, and that's kind of...
So we went over this twice, so I thought I would play it twice for you so you could really understand the importance of it. And he even says it's something that he's still working on and something that is tough for him, where he wants to be able to stay relaxed, and that is really has to do with the upper body. So he doesn't want to be too tight within the upper body as he's running, making sure that he's very free with his arms, and he's still able to get his feet down, so he's still attacking the ground. He's still concentrated on being very quick with how he's striking the ground, and just has to do with a freedom of movement. So he doesn't want to be tight. He doesn't want to feel restricted. He doesn't want to feel like he is not able to get the full ranges of motion in his arms and through his spine and through his legs. He wants to feel like he's moving and like he has just like a ton of range, is to me what he's saying there. And that's why I think it's a tough thing to be able to accomplish, because there's some times where you feel more loose, or sometimes where you feel better, your body feels better, and there's other times where you start to kind of tighten up or feel tight, feel nervous, whatever the case may be. That's where I think he's still learning how to be able to always tap into that next level of movement capabilities, right? You can't always get to there, but just learning how to get better and better at being able to get into a position where you're moving at your most free, most powerful.
Do that past 60 meters, when you get into that 70, 80 meter mark, you're already losing your acceleration a bit, but you're kind of just trying to maintain it. Just be as fluid as possible. Just make sure my arms are just pumping.
So I think this is a great one. This is number 6, where he's talking about after he gets past 60 meters, you're already kind of slowing down. So you want to be able to just maintain the speed the best that you can. And in order to do that, just understanding being fluid, pumping the arms, maintaining that arm swing. At this point, you start to get a little bit off with the arm swing. You might be not getting as much range with the legs. You want to be able to, the best you can, maintain the relaxation, continue to pump the arms, continue to be fluid, but just understand that after you get to 60 meters, you're not continuing to accelerate anymore. So there's this time period where you've accelerated. Now you are just trying to maintain the top speed. You're not trying to accelerate anymore. I think that's what's important to understand here. And that 6th tip is there's a point where it's no longer acceleration, but it's more of maintaining, and what you want to be able to do to best maintain. Pump the arms, stay fluid.
And just trying to just keep my hips up. Don't let them fall.
So that's number 7. I think that's a super important one. Keep your hips up. Don't let them fall. What that means is as you're getting into that top speed, you don't want to have your hips sink down or fall back behind you. You have to be able to keep your hips up to maintain that fast foot contact time. What we see a lot of times people do as they get into their top speed, they start to lose control and start landing with their foot out in front of them, or just don't have the proper positioning of the hips. They start to sink down too much. The goal is to stay tall within the hips to make it so then as your foot striking the ground, you're maintaining maximum length. And that's what really helps in being able to have great turnover speed, especially as you are getting past your top speed and starting to wind down. The better you could do being able to control the hip height, the better your finish is going to end up becoming, because you can maintain that turnover and maintain that distance per step.
I'm not worried about looking to my left, looking to my right. I'm not trying to worry about anybody else, but just focus on my race.
And then that is number 8, and I think that's another important one. I see a lot of times athletes, especially when they're younger, could end up struggling with this. And you even see this a lot in the highest level, where you get a little bit too focused on what other people are doing and not focused on what is it that you're trying to accomplish. You want to be able to run your race, focus on your race. If something happens where maybe somebody gets off to a better start, or maybe you don't get as good of a start, you don't want to change your strategy or start to react negatively because something bad happened or because somebody else is doing something that maybe was unexpected. You wanted the best you can isolate on what it is that you're doing to make it so then you could be very successful in accomplishing that task. If you start to worry about what other people are doing, or start watching the other people in other lanes or other people on the field or whatever the case may be, you're not going to be able to execute in the same way. So make sure you're focusing on your lane, what you're doing, and execute the best you can. The better you can concentrate on your execution, the better your sprinting is going to be. I thought those were 8 great tips by Andre de Grasse. Wanted to go over with them. I hope you liked the video. If you did, like and subscribe. We have a couple other videos here. I'll do a breakdown video here with Andre de Grasse, as well as some of my best sprinting drills if you guys want to watch other videos to help you in your sprinting journey. And we also have a lot of different things down below in the description if you want to find out more about our programs and stuff like that, how we can help you in your sprinting. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you soon.